Wow, I just want to thank you for coming to my blog again. It's Friday. It's been a great week. Things are just, all over the world right now. There's just an excitement in our industry, and I just every day getting calls from people all over the world, from South Africa, Germany, Sweden. I mean, there's so many different places, and it's just amazing. But just to recap, we talked about the idea of getting your prospect to your opportunity or your information in some way. So I kind of gave you the steps on how to go through that. Now the next part, what I want to talk about is which a lot of people dread, is picking up that what we call the 10,000 pound phone. They're scared to make those calls because they don't know what to say. And so I want to talk to you about giving you just a couple ideas, just to kind of calm yourself. One is, when you're thinking about calling your prospect, understand a little bit about the psychology about what you're going to say. First of all, when I call somebody, the first words out of most people's mouths are, they say, "So, what did you think about that?" And then automatically, you get all kind of responses because people are thinking so many different things. I mean, they could be thinking about grocery shopping, they could be thinking about the kids, they could be thinking about, oh, I gotta go to work, next week, or they could be thinking about going to vacation. I mean, they could be thinking about so many things. So we don't want to actually know about, in a sense, what they think. What we want to know is a couple key phrases, and this is something I use every single time, and I kind of switch it up every time. But I'm gonna give you one simple phrase when you call somebody up. First of all, have excitement in your voice. Don't call somebody with monotone, like the dry eyes guy. Really get some excitement. Get some fluctuation in your voice. Talk like you have passion about, talking to people, and you're excited about it. Once I remember a long time ago, I used to have people on my team, and they would call people and they'd say, "Hey, this is Joey. I just wanted to see, what you thought about the video." I'm like, oh my gosh, come on, people. I mean, this is exciting. We have exciting products. We're doing something that's totally different than most people out there in the world, who are working a day-to-day job. We're sitting in our homes, we're building a business for our future. And so get excited about your future. So when you're calling somebody, the first words out of my mouth is not, "What do you think?" but "What did you like best about what you just saw?" That phrase right there, I'm asking them, first of all, what they thought was best and out of what they saw. So the whole idea is that I'm not asking what they think. I'm asking them, what did they like best about what they saw? And usually whatever product you might have, they're going to tell you what they liked. Now, for example, if they say, "Oh, I like the product." Great. I love the product. Tell a story maybe about it. And then ask them, "So, are you looking to make extra money also?" Because yes, the product is good, but I mean, we're looking to have people get into our business with us and help us sell a product together as a team. Yes, you can sell the product, but we want to be able to build each other's teams. So the whole idea is that, it's good to have people work with you. That's what true leverage is. We only have 24 hours in a day. So the whole idea is, when you're calling people, yes, the product is good, but ask them. If you don't ask, you won't receive. So the whole idea is, ask them, "So, are you looking to make extra money?" They're going to tell you yes or no. If they say yes, you say, "Great. How much money do you want to make each month?" And they're going to say, "Oh, like $2,000 a month." Wow, that sounds great. So what exactly do you want to make that $2,000 for? Don't let people off the hook so easy. Start to dig in a little bit. Find out why they want to do that. Find out what their true why is. Now, this is one thing I will caution you on. Don't build a 15-minute, 30-minute conversation without asking this key question. And this question, I think, is the most important question out of everything that you learned from me today. And this is what you need to say. You need to find out, do they have money to get in your opportunity? For example, one of the people on my team, he was telling me about some people he was talking to, and he got me on the phone with them, and I get to find out, this guy doesn't have a job. He's been out of work 6 months, and he doesn't have a computer. He has to go to the library. What do you think the likely of that prospect, being the next big MLM superstar? I mean, yes, it could happen, but very likely. And think about the psychology around the idea who people know. What do you think that guy knows? he's not hanging out with people who are making 40,000 and higher. I guarantee he doesn't have a lot of those friends. So you need to proceed and progress your way up the ladder when you're building your business. So for example, if somebody makes 40,000 a year, he probably knows most of the people that make what he makes, but he might know a couple more people that make 60,000 a year. That guy who makes 60,000 a year, he goes on, he might know a couple of people who make 80,000 a year, and so on and so on and so on, till you get to those bigger guys that have higher influence. Now again, the key question that we're looking for here is, when I say this, I mean, you can say it the way you want, but I say, are you in a position to make a $360 decision today? That's a yes or no. It's not, tell me what you think. It's not, tell me this or that. It's asking a simple question. Do you have the money to join with us to get in the business and get both products or whatever product you might be selling? So hopefully that makes sense. Don't go on like for 15, 20 minutes learning about this whole person's family life and everything else. Because if you don't ask that question in general, I mean, it could be null and void, because yes, they could be the best person in the world, but if they don't have $360 or they don't have $500 or if they don't have $200, and again, it's not going to do you any good. So it'd be better to call that person back when they had the money. So hopefully that makes sense. So now we got that question out of the way. Now what you want to start to do is, once they find out they got the money, then you want to start to move into what I call forming people. You want to start to learn about their family, their occupation, what they like to do, recreation, and then you want to get them to your message. So the whole idea is that, you're forming people to get them to the point where they are going to be able to make a decision. Now, once you find out they got the money, some people like to just go right into it and close them, like I would. Personally, if I find out a little bit about people and, I got a little bit of information, I think I'm good enough, I will go for it and basically get somebody to join with us if I feel confident that they understand what they've already seen and everything else. But the whole idea is, once you get to that point, you're building the business, they said they have the money. This is the key thing that most people do not do. They get to the point and then it's like dead air. You've got all their information, you understand why they want to do this, you understand everything about them, but there's no decision process, there's no call to action. So what you need to do is you need to be able to ask them, which is simple, where do you want your check sent to? Great, you ready to get started? Let's get started. Ask people if they want to get started. Tell them. You can even say, where do you want your check sent to? Get people to say something. And now if they have something where they say, oh, well, I want to learn a little bit more about the product. Great. What is that you want to know? Those are not necessarily, they're trying to avoid you. Those are questions where they need more information, depending on what personality color they are. We can talk more about that later. But the whole idea is, hopefully these steps, help you. And I just want to make this real simple. One, when you're doing this, don't ask people what they think when you get them on the phone. The first thing that you really want to kind of talk about is, what'd you like best about what you saw? Get them thinking about what they saw that was best to them and how it conveyed to those feelings inside of them. Number two, once you kind of build that process with them a little bit, you figure out a little bit about them, you get their why, and after that, ask them, do they have the money, in a sense? Are you in a position today to make a decision? Whatever price that might be, you fill in the bank. Mine, for example, are you able to make a decision today to join with us for $360? That's important. Get those things out of the way. And number three, when it comes time to closing the prospect, close them. They are waiting for you to close. You just have to ask. So the whole idea is, if you do not ask, you will not get people in your business. See, a lot of people who are really big in network marketing or big in internet marketing, it's not anything that they're doing great. They just know how to ask for the sale. So if you do the same thing, I guarantee you do these steps and you incorporate it into what you're doing, pick up that 10,000 pound telephone and make calls, and I guarantee you're going to see dramatic results in your business. I thank you for today. I hope you have a great weekend. Come back with some great content on Monday. Hope you're having a good day. Talk to you later. Bye.